I'm with one of India's biggest political stars, and I'm emphasizing on the point political. He needs no introduction. Kamal Haasan has had a very busy day today, and he's going to have many more busy days going forward. He's on India Upfront, speaking to me. You're on Times Now. Thank you very much for giving me this time. It's a very, very crucial moment in your political journey. When is the big launch? And what's the name of the party?
Thank you. It's too early to be talking about it. I know I'm enthusiastic, but not reckless. So I'm talking to people without unabashedly educating myself on the situation and trying to ascertain if my knowledge about the ground realities are right. And so far I'm getting good answers and good advice. That's where I am now. To suddenly say that I'm going to name the party as such and this is the color and would be, yes, people have done it before. People have come in and created parties in 3 months. But there must have been a necessity. For me, I'm driven by a general rule, the need of the people. So I'll have to talk more to the people before I come to that part of it. I hope I will come to that part soon.
The show is called India Upfront.
Yes.
Upfront. You need to be absolutely upfront on this show.
Yeah.
So what is the outward limit for your launch? 2 months? 60 days?
I wouldn't put it as, even my films, when there's a lot of prep. To make a film, I need 3 months of prep, without which I'm not confident that I will execute the film properly. We are talking about something much larger, much more important. I can always say, I'm sorry, I'll try better next time when my film fails. This time, I can't afford to either say that or take that as a impetus to stride forward.
Will the word Makkal figure in the name of the party at some level? Are you going to be a people's party?
Absolutely.
A people's movement?
It is a people's movement.
So Makkal will be there.
What drove me is the Makkal. So I don't think, on the contrary, instead of promising people that I will do this for you, I can only say we will do it. But because I cannot deliver half my promises if I don't get the help from people. And
so when is your political apprenticeship going to end? Let me press you on this point up front.
It has to end soon, but I hope it's not too long.
If you don't mind my saying this, but you're sounding a little bit like another political apprentice in politics, Rahul Gandhi, who knows his destiny. You know your destiny, but somehow is delaying his destiny.
No, I'm not delaying it. I'm waiting for the moment because I am prepping and I know that there are people who are keen to advise, but all advice need not be accepted.
This is what you said. You said, this is the right time for me to come into active politics because everything that can possibly go wrong is going wrong.
Yes.
Why delay the opportunity to fix things?
No, that's fine, but
you know the problems.
Yes, I know, but that can't be attended to at once. Even if it's a surgery, you'll have to set up a time, you'll have to call the proper technicians to do it. And this surgery is going to be done not under anesthesia, but fully awake.
You've been taking active interest, or let me rephrase it, you've been actively engaging your opinion with the larger political opinion of this country now for about 1.5 years.
Probably a little more than that.
More.
I would say 2 decades.
2 decades, yes. But in the last 1.5 years, you've been actively engaging on issues.
Yes.
On issues that are momentary sometimes, and obviously larger. So obviously, you have studied the system. This is not going to be a knee-jerk, and that's why I'm going to press you again. 3 months, 90 days, if not 60?
Maybe 100 days to be on the safer side.
100 days. 100 days, it could be 100 days. Okay. Why wait to fix a system, a broken system?
See, that's what we've been trying to do for the past 37 years. When I say we, I'm talking about a movement which I started 40 years back, actually. I was too young and I didn't know how to go about it. And finally I decided to take over the reins and not run it as a fan club, and dissolved all the fan clubs, as it's oft maintained that fan clubs will slowly become a political movement. But I didn't want that, so I wanted to train them on the ground. And my family or my friends, they have been working 37 years without any payment, without any, except the final payment, if at all, is the pride of having done it. And this was not funded by me, partially maybe, just to tell them that they're not alone in this social service. So if I put 1/10 of it, the rest of the 90% will be done by them. And believe me, these rupee notes are wet with their sweat, not fancy money. And they could just about eke it out after they keep something for themselves. And they've been doing this, and I can tell you I have it on, nobody asked me for an account, but I asked them to maintain an account. And so far we have done 25 to 30 crores worth of social service without asking for donations. It's all from within, and we are eye donors, body part donors. Where we want sewage cleaned, we'll come forward and do it. We want to build a shelter for a bus stop, we'll build it. And we never went to the government for that. They helped us, we were thankful, we were ready with a namaste, but that's all we could offer. But we've been doing that for 37 years. But for the past 7 years, it's become very difficult for us to even do that kind of service.
Why is that?
There were interferences. Why would you want to do these things while we are there? They would neither do it nor allow us to do it. So it sort of was building up, I would say.
And who were these differences with most? Were it with the government of the day, AIADMK, DMK?
Yeah, more with the AIADMK government, but no politician, yes.
Personal clashes?
No. I would say the personal clashes started around the time of Vishwarupam, when it became business, politics, and hubris.
Why do you
but
think?
Not mine.
Okay, so it was hubris and insecurity.
Yeah, but I did not I was too small to have take umbrage on any small insult. And this has been going on for nearly 17 years, where my films were troubled. I was targeted for no reason.
So we are now at a point where, sadly, Ms. J.J. Lalitha is no longer there with us.
No more talking about it now.
And also, of course, Mr. Karunanidhi is actively now handing the reins of his party and becoming a more avuncular figure. So this is a perfect opportunity. You'd probably be, at some level, very excited at being able to step into a breach.
Yes, but imagine becoming the president of a bank which the coffers are empty. It's going to be so. By the time whoever comes into power and whatever position they give me, I'll be looking at empty coffers.
Are you nervous?
Absolutely, because I'm nervous when I start my film shooting. I'm nervous when I go on a show. Are you nervous,
not so much about the challenge, but because you know perhaps you're not a politically savvy individual and might get swallowed up in the rough and tumble of politics? Because often it is said about individuals who look from the outside that you have to become the part and the piece to play this game.
Yeah, that's what they said about film industry. They said you can't change it. This is the way it's going to humble yourself before it. Yeah, you can only humble yourself for etiquette's sake. You can't permanently stay in that position. Somewhere you'll have to get up and make that call. I've done it in my film industry at great peril to my career. And I would do it 3 times more in this.
Well, I'm only bringing this up because your opponents say you don't have what it takes. They've taken a more qualitative position. And let me tell you, The current chief minister, as also, of course, DMK working president M.K. Stalin, this is what he said. He said, in a democracy, everyone has the right to question the government, but unfortunately, as far as Mr. Kamal Haasan is concerned, that's all he does, is that he's questioning, he's into acting, does not know about politics. After he comes to politics and says things, we will give him a proper response. This is what the Tamil Nadu chief minister has said also.
I'm here. I want the proper response. My complaint is there's not been a proper response, and I'm here.
Well, I think what they mean is that when you announce, they're going to trounce you. They're going to defeat you at this game.
Let them do it. Trounce me and become what? Is my question. Trounce me is possible. With might, anybody is trounceable. But if they think they can fool the people again, I don't think so.
Is that because you're confident you have the idea? You have a very strong ideological conviction which is going to break through?
They asked me what is my ism. You go and meet so-and-so of another party. Let me not beat around the bush since we are talking up front. So they say you go meet Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan, which means are you turning red? Then you meet...
but you said your color is definitely not saffron.
Yes, but this could be my color, which is all colors, actually. Black is all colors. But what I'm saying is, my color is that...
What is the problem with saffron?
Nothing. Right now, as it's perceived is what is wrong.
What is it perceived as? Because you did mean Mr. Pon Radhakrishnan a few days back.
Yes, I've always met not only Mr. Radhakrishnan, and I've even lauded our PM.
Could that set off, commentary that you might be getting close to the BJP?
I will get close to any place which will be helpful for the people. I'm people-centric. If my ism, if at all you want to find an ism in me,
so clearly, in the current context, saffron is not the ism.
Because I'm a rationalist. So if you think that I'll go shake hands with people who believe that is the only route to people, I may not be the useful tool for them. But I am a tool which will work for the people. But that doesn't mean ideologies need to get in the way. Because I personally believe the isms will find me. I found the people.
So Kejriwal came in. He has an ism.
Yeah.
He found you and you had a meeting.
Yes, I will meet many more because this...
What do you make of Mr. Kejriwal?
What everybody else is made out of him. The opposition, of course, would want to make fun of him. But I'm watching it as a commentator. He has said something and has done something. And it's not too contrary to what he promised. So there's a lesson to be learned.
You think he's delivering? He's doing a good job?
It's not easy to deliver, I know, because I've spoken about films being better.
Today in your press conference you said, I want to speak to people who are strongly anti-corruption in their credentials. Do you believe Mr. Kejriwal is clean?
I think so. I'd like to believe so. But I believed all my leaders. I believed Gandhi is clean.
There are several of his ministers who are facing corruption charges. There are people who were with him at the beginning of his movement, since you brought up that word, who have deserted him. Very credible people who say that Mr. Kejriwal has looked the other way when some of his players, his fellow mantris in his cabinet have actually cheated the people.
Till proven guilty, I would reserve my
But that can be said about many politicians.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But people have been proven guilty, gone to jail, and still are, and that's my thing. I mean, I've heard a lot of stories about Mr. Modi, about Mr. Nehruji, about Gandhiji.
What stories have you heard about Mr. Modi?
Yes, they say so many things. There is corruption behind him. But
Mr. Modi?
Yes, they say that.
Who are the they?
Many people on the opposition. They keep talking about it. But I reserve...
Are you referring to the diaries, the Sara Birla diaries?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the court has taken a position on that.
Yeah, till then, I can't take a position. That's what I'm saying.
We'll come to the Prime Minister in just a few moments. You said that you have a lot of heroes on the left. Who are some of these heroes?
Many. So, including the man who told me what communism was all about. He's from my village. He's called Communist Muthuswamy. And I asked him what's so great about it? Why? And that was the time when Russia and India were.
You see yourself as a communist?
No, I like some of my heroes are. I have some fallen idols also in many parties.
But heroes influence a person.
They do, they have.
What is the takeaway for you from communism? What do you like about it?
It is the need to do the will of the people, fearlessly, go forth, and there's nothing to lose. So we'll try and battle. And it's for the lowest in the brotherhood, workers of the world.
So if Kamal Haasan were to come into politics tomorrow, you would like equitable distribution of income, you would perhaps want state control over business. What is the part of communism that attracts you?
See, communism, any ism is work in progress. I'm not going to fully accept the book. If I had accepted the book, I would have accepted
so are you pro-business?
books.
Are you pro-free markets? Are you
right now, even Russia is open to a market, whether it's a free market, because so is China.
Because Russia is no longer communist.
Yeah, no, so is China. China is open to mercantile business.
So it's the Chinese model that attracts Kamal Haasan?
In a way. But I'm not going to fully accept it because we've seen certain things go wrong there also.
Well, the reason I'm asking you is because I'm trying to also draw and fill in the blanks of a prospective manifesto that you might actually be putting out.
Yeah, so that's what I wouldn't like to talk about in a hurry now.
Right.
Because Mr. MGR did produce a manifesto, which was very small. But at the same time, it had a lot of dreams.
But certainly, saffron is not theism, which means communalism in your mind. The
communalism is something...
Okay, so let me ask you. What rankles you about right-wing politics, Mr. Haasan?
Being in the middle, I feel that totally saying that no God, temples go down. I'm against that also. This kind of equipoise might look like I'm tap dancing. I'm not. I love people more than the existence of God or the non-existence of God.
I'll give you specific phrases that are being associated today by some with saffron politics, lack of a better word. Cow vigilantism. Where do you stand on cow vigilantism, Mr. Haasan? Cow vigilantism.
I'm not.
Cow rakshaks.
No, I'm more for people raksha. I'm not for that as a central point of discussion now. I don't even think that matters. We got to be kind, not only to cows, dogs, all other animals. They're all holy to me, as much as man. I understand man better.
Hate mongering, is that a problem? BJP leaders, some of them, and you know the example, Sangeet Som, Yogi Adityanath, who is now, of course, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. You've had others like Sakshi Maharaj, an MP from the Bharatiya Janata Party. Do you have a problem with those type of figures?
Any party which goes about mongering or itching for a fight is not the right way to go.
Do you believe the Bharatiya Janata Party has not cracked down on hate mongers within its own ranks?
I think so. They can.
They can.
I think they might.
The Prime Minister has, on numerous occasions, warned against hate mongering, has told some of his obvious members of the BJP not to indulge in hate mongering, but they continue.
Yes. That's what I see.
Does that disappoint you?
To an extent, but you'll have to give time. If you're willing to give a man like me 100 days of time, we should give him...
Where does Kamal Haasan stand on Ghar Wapsi and love jihad? Forceful conversions, reconversions,
I don't think you should get into that. Either
but people might ask you those questions because you met the Chief Minister of Kerala. In his state, there is a problem as of now. Even the courts have taken note of what they are saying is love jihad, forceful conversions. I don't hear you speak about that. And that is not really associated with saffron.
No, I think any party, when I say when I deny the existence of God, I don't deny one God alone.
Okay.
All gods are the same to me. They don't exist for me. But that doesn't mean it shouldn't exist for you. At the same time, you cannot forcibly try to even convince me to go over to your side. You can convince me to believe that what you're saying could be right. Give me time to think.
We'll take a short break. We'll come right back and we'll ask Mr. Kamal Haasan his views on certain individuals which he was going to encounter on his long political journey. We'll be right back. I have a problem with open-ended questions. Questions that allow for obfuscation. You have not answered any of my questions. You have danced and deflected. Don't make us wear dunce caps, sir. Questions that don't yield the hard fact. What would you have had Major Gogoi do? Should he have opened fire? I'm asking you, should he have opened fire, yes or no? Because only the absolute fact will clinch the argument. 15 judges have sat in judgment of Pakistan. Were you about to commit premeditated murder? Only airtight questions bring closure. Here is a meticulous register of payments which goes straight into the Hurriyat office. Is the Hurriyat nothing more but the Dalal of Pakistan? Why settle for anything less? Demand the absolute hard fact.
No one knows their true metal until it's been tested. Until it emerges from the fiery chasm of experience, as it flows through the true course of credibility. Until it gives form to raw insights, striking every lead with full force on the anvil of journalistic integrity, fortifying your trust with our principles and values. We know our true metal because you've tested it. Time's now. Action begins here.
The morning news are.
You are just bothered up saying Hindu and Muslim. We are not saying Hindu and Muslim. We are saying what's wrong and what's right, sir.
When people try and misconstrue and portray a wrong image, you have to call their bluff.
Thanks for joining me live.
Our crusader for the people.
We're going to end this debate on the fact that it's crime ki baat. It's not parivar ki baat, it's crime ki baat.
His questions can't be avoided.
She has been strangulated. You are contesting elections in Uttar Pradesh. What is happening in Uttar Pradesh?
His cause won't be denied.
You know you're sitting there with a responsibility.
4 people died, nobody was bothered. Today a girl has been strangulated, it is still a hodgepodge investigation. How is this right?
His passion for justice sets the agenda.
Most importantly, integrity and honesty. We as a channel fiercely guard that, and I as a person fiercely guard that.
Anand Narsimhan on Times Now. Action begins here.
The morning news are.
Times Now believes action begins here. It's that action that we demand from those who govern us.
You're refraining from using the word unconstitutional. Do you have any regrets that justice still doesn't seem to have been delivered?
In your parliamentary experience, there has ever been an issue like this on which a Prime Minister has resigned?
We ask the question you, the people, want to ask of our politicians.
The entire Ishrat Jahan case now seems to be a cover-up. Do you think the Congress is on a losing wicket? Are you shying away from a debate with Arvind Arvind Kejriwal?
No. The facts that are hidden behind the files. Why political parties are hiding behind that unknown sources, donation, income, uncomfortable questions. Because it is these questions that need to be asked.
You made that statement about Sohrabuddin and justified his killing. Do you think it was a mistake?
Welcome back. We're with Mr. Kamal Haasan in what is turning out to be a conversation which is very upfront. Mr. Kamal Haasan, what do you make of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's premiership?
Well, I have been a part of Swachh Bharat. I still am. It doesn't matter where it comes from. A good deed is a good deed. Much to the chagrin of some of my friends who have other kind of political ideologies. When I spoke about demonetization, I had to take a barrage of criticism. Somewhere just criticism, somewhere very unkind. But that doesn't matter. I thought one had to cut across party lines and shake hands, or belief lines, and shake hands if the nation is going to build on it. There are certain areas, if and when it comes, like for example, GST, I understood it from the point of view of my industry. I cannot speak for all. I will now have to understand and speak for all if need be. But from my point of view, I put my point forward straight. It was a point and a request to the government. It was misunderstood as twisting arm through the media, which was not what I was doing. We were beseeching the government to look at regional cinema.
When you spoke about demonetization, it was at the point when
it was announced.
It was announced. What do you make of it now?
I still think unless proven guilty, you cannot come to a judgment now. And this is something you cannot...
Were you surprised at all the money returned?
I was not surprised. I thought that's a way to go. That is why I congratulated it. As a matter of fact, I had invested in that as a taxpayer with the hope that it will happen one day. That if I set an example, somebody will follow me and all the other people who are taking away from it will be punished, because slowly my...
Kamal Haasan still believes that demonetization was good for the country, was an essential...
That's what I believed then. Till it's proven totally wrong, I'm still willing to hold that.
Okay. Can I ask you a little bit about Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas? That is welfare for all, with all, by all. Do you believe that Mr. Modi has been able to deliver Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas?
Yes, but look at it. I mean, let me talk from a point of view, exemplary gratia, from films. There are a lot of people who will call a super hit film, like say Bahubali. They'll shout it down. Success doesn't matter. The quality is bad. What is wrong about the quality? It's, Hollywood is watching it. They'll say, no, the story is not as good as a Shyam Benegal film. But we never promised you a Shyam Benegal film. But it'll keep on going, that argument. Let's see what happens. But at the same time, if there is something going wrong, you will hear my voice.
At this moment, you're not willing to take a position.
Take a position because it's too early.
Do you believe that the appointment of Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, was an example of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas? He's a very polarizing figure.
Yes, for me, from my point of view, I thought, but the way I saw him working, I said, what does it matter if he wears saffron or
if he says horrible things?
I beg your pardon?
Does it not matter to you when he said some horrible things?
Oh, it does matter.
Should I tell you what he said?
Tell me.
He says, Hindus must unite and remain alert of Muslims wherever they live and confront them if the situation so demands. Muslims consider terrorists their protectors. Hindus must unite and remain alert wherever Muslims live and confront them if the situation so demands. This is the only country where the majority community is under threat. And then he goes on to other issues. Shah Rukh Khan should remember that if a huge mass in society would boycott his films, he will also have to wander on streets like a normal Muslim. Do you believe this is, these
Not
are
at all.
comments
Not at
that
all.
enhance Sabka Saath,
I'm willing to
Sabka
give him
Vikas?
his due where it is deserved. Here, it's not deserved. I'll be the right opposite voice of that. Not from the point of view of religion, but point of view of as a human being.
So let me then ask you, there has been perceptible economic growth. The Prime Minister promised Achhe Din. Do you think he's delivering Achhe Din?
Well, there is a view contrary to that. They're saying...
What do you believe?
I believe economists when they say it, but I'd have to see, there's talk of petrol. I think they should address it. Petrol prices.
The states have a role to play also.
I beg your pardon?
The states have a role to play.
Yes.
They've pushed up excise. So that message would go out to the states too, the Chief Minister of States as well as the centre?
Yes.
So you should bring it down?
Yes, he should. Because it affects the common man. Once again, I'm not with Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan if he says something which will not be helpful for my people. May it be Kerala. But if it doesn't help Tamil Nadu, I'll have to voice it. If it works in Kerala, let him execute it there. But it is not working here.
But some people will say, and the Finance Minister was on Times Now just a few days ago, last week, when he said that we are collecting this cess to reinvest into the economy for the welfare of the people, and populism is ruinous. So why are you pushing the government towards being populist?
No, but at the same time, you cannot condition them like school children and say that, do this because we know what is right. Because you have to answer certain questions, and there will be questions from various parties. Without taking umbrage, they should be addressed. That I've been taught is...
Do you think that's not happening in our country? Is it becoming intolerable?
It is.
Intolerant. There is a rise.
Criticism is not taken. I'm a great fan of Gandhiji, and most of the people, like even Rajaji Saab, who had a difference of opinion with Congress itself. And I've met Mr. Kamraj. My father has been a close associate of his, and a great fan, likewise. But the tolerance towards criticism slowly started decreasing post-independence. And now it's almost null and void.
Null and void? You think
nobody, no party is willing to take that. They're quick to take umbrage. There's never the word...
This is not about just one party. This is cutting across.
Yeah, because they've stopped using the word nevertheless, which is, of course, Nehru's favorite coinage. But that the nevertheless gave that equipoise a leader must have. It doesn't matter even if Mr. Nehru had said that.
Well, Rahul Gandhi says that we are living in a time of great oppression. He seems to suggest that it's coming only from one direction. Do you agree?
I don't know the actual year he was born, so because I have been under greater oppression, which was emergency. I don't want something similar or anything closer to that. That is our trepidation.
If you don't see yourself in the saffron camp, then let's talk a little bit further afield before I come to Mr. Rajinikanth. Let me ask you a little bit about who could be a natural ally for Kamal Haasan. Could it be Rahul Gandhi's Congress?
Anybody who's people-centric will have to help me, because I'm going at it alone.
Is Rahul Gandhi people-centric?
I don't know. If he had, then people would have supported him. Why did they choose another party? So there is that
So let's eliminate a few names. You're not going to be with the Congress.
I don't know, because right now I'll have to put forward some demands which has to be refused by them. Then I won't. I would say these are my...
But per se, you have no problems in...
I have no untouchability
despite the corruption.
In anywhere. Especially.
But you've said that political parties across the board are corrupt. And some of them are communal.
Yeah, but I'll have to...
So why do you say today that I have no problems, I'm agnostic to political parties?
I have to talk to them. I cannot stop dialogues with them. I can't stop dialogue assuming that there's a group of my people who have seized power here with the people's mandate.
DMK, AIADMK, they've been involved in corruption. Talking to them is not going to change that past.
No, but you might, I don't know which splinter group will come out and form another party, and we'll have to still address them. Talking to them does not mean that we'll collaborate and cohabit in the parliament.
Has, many people say, I'm not saying this, the BJP says, culture of corruption has gripped the Congress party. Dynastism has gripped the Congress party. Rahul Gandhi has come out, so to speak, in defense of dynastism. All of those things perhaps rankle with you at some level.
Yes.
And despite that, you're willing to talk to them?
I'm willing to talk to even the saffron clad people if they are in power to help my people. I will talk, but that doesn't mean I'll change my ideology. My ideologies will not change. But we all have to talk. I disagree with the fact that we'll have to keep vigil.
But doing business and talking are two different things. Will Kamal Haasan do business with some of these political parties?
This is not business at all for me. For me, it's
so you're looking to go it alone?
Yeah, I'm looking at go it alone. I'm not going to do business with any of these people.
Very important.
Yes.
Rajinikanth is going to like to hear this, because at this moment, many people are saying Rajinikanth is drifting towards the saffron fold. He's close to the Prime Minister. He might be on the other side.
Please.
Do you think you can fight without the support of a machine, a party machine?
It's going to be difficult because it's almost a vertical takeoff. I don't have the gradient to slowly take off, but it's been done before. That's my strength. And there are people who truly believe that it can be done.
Will there be a point in time, because you made a very interesting statement. You said, there are questions whether I will join hands with Rajinikanth in politics. If Rajni enters politics, I'll join hands with him. What do you mean by this exactly?
We've had a discussion because I think one thing that we're both clear of, at least I am clear of, is that our first target is to do away with corruption, because that solves almost most of the problems, partly. But that doesn't mean it'll solve all problems magically. Agriculture, education.
This is what you discussed?
Medical stuff, all that.
When did you discuss?
We meet, but what I told
When do you meet?
We work in the same
industry.
No.
When was your last meeting?
About 4 or 5 weeks back, I think, maybe more. But we did not discuss all this.
One-on-one? Was this a one-on-one?
One-on-one.
How long was it?
About a half an hour. Maybe we all had to get back to work.
How many one-on-ones have you had with him over the last few years?
Oh, so many.
Many. So you're on the same page?
Not necessarily. But what I told him, or what we agreed, is that I am going in, because I had to tell him as a friend. And we, having been competitors in a field, have always had these conversations. And we've always discussed so that...
What do you disagree on?
I'm yet to know, so that's why...
You said that you have disagreements on certain issues, that there are obviously...
Influence.
Yes.
We've had.
And in politics?
We have to see. We might have. But we will do
all these conversations, and you've not had a disagreement about...
No, because we didn't discuss all these things in detail. Only thing is, I informed him that I am coming, so that...
This is fascinating. No one knows that you've been in dialogue with Rajinikanth, because many people think that you're going to be adversarial, because you said something which led many people to believe that you were taking a dig at Rajinikanth. You said, and let me just quote you, you came out and said that you were going to speak, you're not going to, you spoke of him foregoing an opportunity to speak on a dais at a DMK celebration you were invited to, and that you could not afford to be a spectator and you had to speak up. What did you mean by that exactly?
No, that was totally misquoted. I can speak it again in Tamil. It was not a memorized speech. It came from... I said I was planning to sit with Rajini down there because it's safer to be there. But then I looked at myself in the mirror and decided, forget about all that. What is important is...
When you told Rajinikanth that you're going to take the leap, what was his reaction? And did he say that I'm following you? I'm coming in?
Those things were not discussed. Only thing we...
So Rajini never told you that he's going to enter politics?
That's why I said if he comes. Otherwise I would have said he is coming. So we just shook hands, hugged and said, we'll keep our decency as we always have in the film industry.
Okay, so even when he comes into politics and you are already there because you take the leap first, you are not going to take personal pot shots at each other. That's what you've agreed to.
That's what we have agreed, because we want to set an example, because it's getting backwards.
Politics is a rough game.
Yeah,
you might be pushed into taking positions which are stridently...
Yeah, but still I won't take personal pot shots. If you've noticed, I have, even not to mention any names, I've always kept a decent limit, ethical limit of it.
So in these conversations with Mr. Rajinikanth, did you tell him that you were not enamored by saffron?
See, that conversation will be made public, but I will have to take more of his consent before I...
So you're not denying it? You've probably told him a little bit about your political...
We have spoken, and he knows where I come from, but I'm not going to be discussing any more on
Does he come from the same direction, the same ballpark as you do? Ideological ballpark? No. So different.
It's a different approach, but people-centric, I hope, because that's what his speeches and his intent.
So he comes from the right and you basically come from the left?
I can't say I come from the left. I like the left.
The left. So
I actually,
left of center.
I actually come from a very orthodox family, and I used to be in prayer till about 12 or 13 years, 2 hours a day. So I don't know where I'm coming from, but right now I'm in the center, Mayam, as they say in Tamil.
Who do you think is better equipped between you and Rajinikanth to fill this void? And don't tell me it's going to be the two of us.
No.
Do you see yourself as perhaps the contender? Because you've made a reference to becoming chief minister also.
No, I didn't. That Mudalwar does not mean...
Okay.
It's first. It's like first among equals, or it's that
so
first.
So you see yourself as the first among equals?
No. It's that kind of a usage. When I said Mudalwar there, Yam means we. We come first. That's what it means. But people took another meaning. I don't care. What I meant, I know. And people who know...
So is Kamal Haasan better equipped?
I'm equipped because I'm honest. And I want to be honest. Continue to be honest. And I've been preparing to be honest as a citizen for the past 30, 35 years, when we decided this kind of double accounting should not be done. It's a decision when I took in my 20s, because everybody else was doing it and government was giving you an opportunity to move away from that. And we should do it and not behave like dacoits. And that's when I made the call. And from there, I've been preparing.
Does it surprise you that you're so much more open, communicative, and Rajinikanth is so much more taciturn and obviously conservative with his opinion? He barely speaks.
So you think that's better tactics?
I'm only asking you, do you find that strange that he is in the same business as you are? He's a professional communicator, if nothing else.
Yeah, but
he seems to be
different ways
closed.
Brando spoke in a very low voice. People had to strain to listen to him. Probably that's a tactic. I don't know. But I would like to speak as loudly as I am doing now.
I want to ask you a little bit about the past in Tamil Nadu and the present. You obviously have a problem with what is going on now. What are the 3 things that upset you most?
See, now is not these 1 year, 2 years. We're talking about 20 years. Agriculture, education. Let me tell you openly, because everybody is there for everybody to say. The government should have had at least minimal control of education. They relinquished it to private parties.
No, I'm talking more specifics now. We understand that there are general...
I'm coming to it. So what happened is they gave something like that, as important as that, to private parties. Partly certain hospitals also, private hospitals became more popular than my government hospitals. It used to be that ministers all went to the general hospital to cure their ailments, but it's all changed now. That's because private entrepreneurs took over that. Okay, fine, it's a business. Maybe health can be also taken care of by government. But then they gave education away and took over distribution of liquor. Even from the time of Chanakya and Arthashastra, you have only Suradaksha, not a government official sitting all the time maintaining the shops. Here, officers were deputed to take care of distribution of liquor, while education
was suffering.
That's a basic thing. From there onwards, infrastructure, everything started suffering. You saw that last time I raised voice while she was, the chief minister was alive, it's about the floods. Micromanagement, everything went to her table, and they didn't open the sluice gates in time. People died. That's not acceptable at all.
So let me ask you then, what must really be unacceptable to you is this wrangling for power that is going on. 18 going one way, 9 going the other, then coming back, then being disqualified.
It's such a joke.
Do you think there should be an election, a fresh election? Do you think the time has come to go back to the people?
Yes.
Has the mandate been betrayed?
I have a feeling, but this is a forced marriage. The bride wants out. That's the people. And we are forcing the marriage. This is what I said in an interview before. I'm repeating it in case they missed the point. And you can't force it. And including Mr. MGR's manifesto promises us.
If the courts step in, and I don't want to presage the courts at any level because the matter is sub judice. If they tomorrow were to come out and rule against the government at the state level, and you have a situation where there are going to be elections, you're not going to have much time, Mr. Kamal Haasan. Will you be looking at that election?
Well, if that is the case, I'll have to look at that election.
You'll have to. So if it happens in the next 100 days, you'll be there?
There. I'll be there. If it doesn't, if tactically if someone advises me, and I personally believe it still can go because we can pull it off in another way, or we don't know what's going to happen. Let's not jump the thing.
It's interesting. You've lost faith, it seems, in the current political lot. Rajinikanth has supported in the past Karunanidhi's DMK as well as J. Jayalalitha's AIADMK. You've never extended support.
No.
Why is that?
Because
you didn't believe in the two leaders?
No, I believe that they will do good for us. But it didn't happen. I like them personally. And with Mr. Karunanidhi, at least I had some chance of criticizing him, at least in his ear. I could write an article, and he'll call me and try to convince me on that. And I've disagreed with him on stage, which very few people can. And he said, if that's what you believe, he shrugged and let me go, forgave me for it, and never pursued me or with a vindictive attitude. That's my respect for him. But that's where it stops. When it comes to corruption, nobody is beyond corruption.
No one is beyond corruption.
No one is beyond corruption.
Well, Mr. Kamal Haasan, to an innings that awaits you, 100 days, we'll be speaking again.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I hope so too.
Thank you so much. Thank you.